Like many other things affected by the pandemic, music performances are pivoting from in-person events to a new kind of online experience. Boston Baroque has been doing that over the past few months with a series of recordings, and it plans to mark the holidays with performances online. To tell us about the lineup and making it accessible is the ensemble's founder and music director, Martin Pearlman. Thank you very much for being with us, Martin.
Thank you.
Martin, in this time of pivoting, it's easy to overlook your beginnings with this ensemble back in the 1970s. The idea of a permanent Baroque orchestra in North America, it didn't exist before then. So it sounds like now you're doing innovation all over again.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Times have changed, and in this pandemic time, of course, we're changing the way we have to perform. We're going back. We're doing some live concerts, but they're very carefully planned. People spaced out farther than we're used to being. Masked, which means basically hardly any wind instruments or singers. At this point, we hope to be adding them in. And lots of videos of previous concerts or operas too, which the operas are going on to Amazon Prime. Some of the concerts are too, because they make great shows in themselves.
Some of this is a combination of necessity and catching up on the technology, but what was the part that made you feel that this was really worth doing as a way to connect with people?
Well, we have always, for a long time, we've wanted to put out these videos and put out some of our concerts online. It's just been in the day-to-day of getting a season together and concerts and funding them as well. We just hadn't really focused on it, and now of course we are. And what we're finding is that the audiences are very well. They're different in a sense. We have our traditional people coming that used to come to Jordan Hall when they could. But we have people from all over the world watching them. We have lots of different countries. We've had, I know this live stream we did a couple of days ago, we had a lot of people from South America, we had Japan, Europe, and even Russia we've had. And also people who used to be part of our audience but have moved away and are now rejoining us online, as well as people who have aged to the point where they don't want to go out at night to concerts, but now they're back for these concerts. So it's great in a way. It's less limiting, although of course it's not quite the same as a live concert.
Well, one of the things that you're making available online is a performance of the Messiah. People in Boston have been going to hear you play this for years at Jordan Hall. I mean, I'm thinking of a Messiah without a space full of people. I mean, it sounds like a sacrilege, but how do you at least try to approach that with what you're doing online?
Well, what we did when we were thinking about possibilities of things that we normally could not do when we're doing it online. So what we did was we took different soloists from over the years and had different people singing who haven't been here maybe for 5 years or so, but and so it's a combination of various people we wanted to bring back and we wanted to see and but it's the complete piece, and it's continuous. So it's the complete Messiah, but with soloists who don't all appear on the stage normally at the same time.
One of the other things you've done in past years, you play some free concerts at the Strand Theatre in Dorchester, and you've got another sort of version of that online this year, maybe with a different lineup of music.
Yeah, well, we're doing. We just did a one holiday concert, a live stream, just a couple of days ago, where we streamed from the WGBH studios, but it was to our people and to our audiences around the world, really. But it's now going, well, within days, it will be available online on our website for others who couldn't be there then. And we're also, as you mentioned, we're doing the Messiah. We also have a holiday Messiah highlights that has greetings from our musicians. That's mostly for our subscribers and donors. We're doing the same with our New Year's concert.
And what's going to be in the New Year's concert?
Well, the New Year, traditionally, what we've been doing for years is at Sanders Theater at Harvard, we do a New Year's Eve concert, and then we do the same concert at 3 o'clock on New Year's Day, which turned out to be enormously popular. I mean, it's always completely full. It's full to the point where we have to put people on the audience on the stage as well. That's a day. New Year's Day was a day originally people thought nobody would show up, but it's a very popular day. So we're doing the same thing essentially now, but although being online, it's going to be available for more than just those 2 times. And we're rebroadcasting a concert from New Year's of several years ago. And so that will be our New Year's concert.
I want to come back to the holiday concert that you've already recorded. You've got some pieces that are by Bach, and you've also got people by Vivaldi, but you also have some things that are explicitly about the time of the year, music by Charpentier. And Corelli, you've got a concerto grosso with one particular section, the Pastoral. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, we did as a set 2 little Noëls by Charpentier. They were both very short pieces, just settings of Christmas pieces that were very popular back in his day in the 17th and 18th century. And then we went right into the Corelli Christmas Concerto, which is a concerto like his other concertos, but the last movement, which he says is ad libitum, although it's so famous everybody does do it, it is traditional for that time. Traditional Christmas music. It has a kind of a slow, a gentle, lilting rhythm, something like dee da dee bum bum ba da dee, that kind of feel to it. It's kind of a common language among composers of the Baroque. Handel used it in Messiah for the Pifa at the moment when the shepherds appear, and Bach used it in his Christmas oratorio also at the moment the shepherds appear. That same kind of gentle rhythm, and it's in a lot of other composers. So Corelli finishes his concerto, and at the last movement, it just goes directly, without a break, right into this very gentle, peaceful music, which people at the time and people who are familiar with it today would associate with Christmas. And we know. Sorry, no, I was just going to say, just going to add that we know that Corelli did perform it at Christmas, and so it's Christmas concerto for that reason as well.
Well, with these concertos, you usually have works that ended in fast tempo,
yes,
kind of loud and lively.
Yeah.
This is just so serene. It's almost like there's a different purpose involved in this music.
Well, yeah, I mean, the concerto in a sense does end exactly as you're saying, with that kind of exciting, fast music. But in this case, he appends this final movement that it just goes directly into that. And as he says, you could do it without that final movement. But of course, it's a famous concerto. Nobody does.
Finally, we should mention, if people want to find a way to catch this music, and maybe we can drop a few hints about how accessible or affordable it might be, anything you want to do to prompt people going online and getting more details at least?
Well, you can go to the Boston Baroque website, which is either bostonbaroque.com, or we have also boston.com, boston.baroque. No, wait, what is it? Baroque.boston, sorry. You'll find those things there. Some of our concerts online are just free to anybody who wants to visit, and some of them are for subscribers, and some of them are for just a small donation, that gives you a ticket, but much less than a normal live concert. But there are various things on the website that are, being watched quite a lot these days.
They certainly are. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
It was Martin Pearlman from Boston Baroque.